Hello, Dr. Fida. So, shall we begin?
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, so good afternoon, everyone. Good afternoon. So, I am Saba. I am the founder of the Acadiz. So, first, let me introduce you briefly about how we give services to our clients. So basically at Acadiz we specialize in supporting researchers and medical professionals through high quality scientific and medical content writing services. After the success of our first workshop on hands-on training of AI tools in research writing, we are excited to host this second session as part of our mission to empower researchers with the skills they need to practice an impactful work. So first of all, let me provide you some housekeeping rules. Before we begin, kindly keep your microphones muted during the lectures to avoid background noise. You will have opportunities to unmute during question answer session. If you have any questions, you are welcome to raise your hands, and once the speaker invites you, you can unmute to share your thoughts. The camera option is entirely up to you. If you want to engage more interactively, you can keep it open. Once again, thank you all for joining us today. I am delighted to welcome you all. And now let us begin by introducing our distinguished speaker, Dr. Fida Ahmed. Dr. Fida Ahmed is the director of ORIC at the University of Turbet and a leading voice in the use of AI tools for academic research and writing services. He holds a PhD in entrepreneurial leadership from the University of the West of Scotland and has extensive experience in business management and research innovation. His work focuses on simplifying literature reviews, data interpretation, and manuscript writing through AI. We are truly grateful that despite his busy schedule, Dr. Fida Ahmed is here with us today. He greatly benefited participants with his expertise in our previous session, and we are honored to have him back once again. Please join me in warmly welcoming Dr. Fida Ahmed. Thank you, Dr. Fida Ahmed, for coming. And please, it's over to you.
Thank you very much, Saba, for this detailed information and the introduction. I'm truly excited to be here with the wonderful participants from different parts of the world. It would be, and I'm expecting it would be a great session about systematic literature review. In this session, the target is to not only share the steps and the processes regarding systematic literature review, but also show you practically how we could conduct an effective systematic literature review. So before going to the presentation, I'd like the people joined us to introduce themselves and what are their background and what are they doing. Since we have limited participants, it would be ideal to have an introduction of each other so that we could know where are the participants from and what are their background, so that we could get a start in a better way. So it would be great if you could just tell your name and your country and your experience or research or any other things. Thank you. Yes, live.
Olivio. Good morning, everyone.
Good morning, Olivio.
Good morning. Yes, my name is Olivio Gambo. I'm from Angola. Can you hear me?
Yeah.
Yes, I'm from
That's
Angola.
Great, yeah.
Yes, I'm from Angola. Currently, I'm pursuing a PhD in communication. Oh, sorry, and I'm with communication. PhD in sustainable development with the Euclid. I'm a communication specialist working for UN. And yes, this is my target is if it's possible in the next 5 years, I would like to focus my life in research. That's why I'm considering to learn a little bit more on this. I started recently writing op-eds for the mail newspaper here, what I do is basically bringing the intersection between development and communication, engagement, and putting people in the center of development initiative. And I believe with this course, maybe I can develop a little bit more my capacity of research and writing. Thank
Yeah.
you.
Interesting, all of you. And you are based in Mongolia right now, yeah?
Yes, right now I'm in Angola.
Yeah, yeah, that's great. That's great. So I'd like to go to Kanjam Anjum. Could you please introduce yourself and your background? Kanjum, can you hear me? So Zobia Attar, are you here? Yusuf Abdullah? Badr Alam, I think you would like to speak.
Hello?
Yes, Yusuf Abdullah.
Yes, my name is Yusuf Abdullah. I'm
Yeah,
from Sudan, but right now I'm in UAE, United Arab
great.
Emirates. My specialization is in accounting. Um, I'm,
Yeah,
uh, I'm associate professor at University of Sharjah, UAE.
that's great.
So
Great.
for me, this is a good opportunity just to understand how we can conduct systematic research review using AI. So thank
Yeah.
you very much for this opportunity.
Thank you, Yusuf. It was great to know about that you're working in a university in Sharjah. So I hope we could also learn from your experiences. Badr Alam, could you please introduce yourself if you can hear me?
Hi, yes, I can hear you. Thank you.
Yeah,
So, myself, Badr Alam, and I'm currently in my second year of PhD at the Sapienza University of Rome. And my PhD is in building and architectural engineering. So, in my first year, I have been struggling a lot with these AI tools. So,
yeah.
I came to know about this. So, hope I can learn. Thank you.
That's great. That's great. We will try to give you as much as we can in 3 hours session, and
Yeah,
we'll try to engage you practically. Thank you, brother. And
thank you.
Kiran, are you available?
Yes, I'm available.
Yes.
Hi, thank you so much. My name is Dr. Kiran Rashid, and I've recently done my MPhil from Khan University, Karachi.
Yeah,
And currently, I'm working as a research associate in a private clinic. So I
that's
came to
great.
know about this workshop. Uh, so I thought it would be a great opportunity to learn AI in
Yeah.
research.
Thank you, Kiran. It was great to learn about you. Uh, Kamar, can you please introduce yourself?
Assalamu alaikum, sir.
Wa alaikum salam.
Myself, Kamar Imdad. I'm from Turbat and I'm a student currently at University of Turbat Education Department and I'm from the last semester.
That's great. Thank you, Kamar. I think we have done with the hall. If anyone is remaining, they can introduce themselves, or we could just start the session. So, can you see my screen?
Yes.
Yeah, perfect. Okay, thank you very much for joining. Basically, in today's session, we will be covering key concepts regarding systematic literature review. But before going to systematic literature review, I'd like to explain what is literature review and what are the types of literature review and when they are conducted and what are the methods and procedures used in those literature reviews. So after that, we will go to systematic literature review. Then we will explain what is systematic literature review and how we could conduct a systematic literature review. After that, we will also explain some key tools which are used in conducting a systematic literature review. So basically in 3-hour session, we will be explaining some key concepts here. We explain and focus on systematic literature review and also emphasize why it matters and what are the specific steps we need to follow and what kind of tools we could use in conducting a systematic literature review. And we also explore what is PRISMA and how we could use PRISMA in conducting systematic literature review. And we will also explain the PRISMA flow diagram and understand why it is important and why we should use the PRISMA flow diagram. After that, we will be exploring the key steps in which we could conduct a systematic literature review. And after that, we would be exploring some key frameworks like PICO, and we will also explain how we could develop inclusion and the exclusion criteria in conducting a systematic literature review. And we will also explain what are the keywords and the search strings we should use in searching the relevant literature for our systematic literature review. And we will also explain how we could collect and retrieve the data. We could also how we could extract data and how we could just synthesize these data in reporting form to generate a consolidated insight on a certain topic. Basically, there are several steps in conducting a systematic literature review, but I'd like to go to them later on. Firstly, I would just like to explain and focus what is literature review. So anyone can explain what is literature review and why it is important? So basically, a literature review is a broad view of knowledge area in which we conduct to examine and explore the existing knowledge regarding a topic. And the purpose of conducting a literature review is to assess what existing literature says about a topic and what are the key points and on the positive and the negative side of that topic. And we could also use literature review for identifying the gaps. What are the existing gaps in the literature and what are the future research directions that have been highlighted by the researchers within the existing literature. And most importantly, literature review is used for developing the foundation of your research. Let's say if you're a PhD student or a master's student or you're doing MPhil, then you conduct a literature review before going to your main research, because you need to craft your research questions, and you need to develop your research frameworks. So you could develop these frameworks and the research question based on comprehensive literature review. So next, we have lots of types of reviews, and here you have learned about them. The first is narrative review. So anyone have idea about the narrative review? The narrative review is the most common type of review which is conducted by the researchers mostly. So if you are conducting a research in the in master's level or the PhD level, the most commonly used literature review is called narrative review. So in this review, we basically conduct and explore the existing. So basically, this method you don't follow any structural framework or any systematic procedure to conducting this type of review, since that's why we could not replicate this kind of review, and the researchers cannot replicate the same process, because you have not followed any specific criteria in selecting the articles and choosing the aspect of the topic, and you don't know how to conduct and what kind of procedures or the protocol to follow conducting the narrative review. Although it does not provide a systematic procedure, but it is most commonly used because it does not require too much resources, and it is not that much complex and easy to use. So everyone can conduct this type of review. So the purpose of this literature review is to provide a general summary of existing literature without following a strict method. Next, we go to the next method is called scoping review. I hope you heard about it. So a scoping review is like narrative review, but it is a bit different. So narrative review basically provides a general overview of a certain area of the research. But the scoping review provides and map the existing literature on a certain topic. Let's say I'm a PhD student of a leadership, and I'm conducting a research on entrepreneurial leadership. So if I conduct a narrative review on leadership, then I will be exploring the key methods and the theories of leadership, and the background and the historical events that shape leadership, and I'll be exploring other types of leadership and the narrative review. But if I want to conduct a scoping review, then I will focus on entrepreneurial leadership and explain what are the key research and what are the key themes and the directions exist in my area of research. So that could be a scoping review. And if I want to finalize my research questions and I want to develop my research framework, I'll be conducting a scoping review to get some background knowledge about my subject and to understand what are the key insights the researchers are talking about, and what gaps exist, and what are the future research directions they have been highlighted in the existing literature of entrepreneurial leadership. So a scoping review is also good if you are not sure about your research questions and you don't know where to start. Mostly if you are a PhD student, you will start with a scoping review. For example, if you want to conduct a research on use of AI tools in research, then you conduct a scoping review to understand what are the existing knowledge available on your topic, and what the literature says about AI and its use in research. So it means you are conducting a scoping review to understand what are the knowledge gap exist, and you map out the existing literature. So the next type is called systematic literature review, which is the main topic of our today's session. we will go thoroughly about this in the coming sections of this presentation. But here I would like to highlight the name says it follows a systematic procedure. It adopts a transparent, replicable, and a strict searching method in which you develop a protocol, a review protocol, and you develop your exclusion and inclusion criteria, and you also explain what kind of papers you have to consider for your review, and what should be the duration of your review, and what kind of search string and keywords you have to use in your review, and what reporting method you should follow in reporting your literature, right? So it's the systematic procedure which we follow from the start till the reporting. The systematic review are the most authentic and trusted reviews within the scientific field. Basically, it is rooted from the medicines. The systematic reviews originally came from medical areas. So people used to conduct literature review about the certain medical issues and the topics about the patients, and then it has been applied to across various disciplines, including the business and the humanities. So it uses a transparent and replicable method. So if I conducted a systematic literature review and someone else want to conduct the similar type of literature review in another field, they could use my review protocol and they could apply it. So the result should be almost similar to that. So there should be no approaches that have been followed. So in this literature review, we collect all relevant studies that are focused on the review questions, and we evaluate them based on their quality, based on their relevance to the review questions, and we report them accordingly. So systematic literature review mostly focus on those on those research which have addressed a same research question. Let's say I've done my PhD on entrepreneurial leadership. So I conducted a systematic literature review during my PhD, and I published it as a separate paper. So you could publish your systematic literature review as a separate paper, and it could be it could be your part of thesis, but you could publish a separate paper from your systematic literature review. So my literature review focused on entrepreneurial leadership competencies. So after conducting a scoping review, I analyzed that although entrepreneurial leadership is an emerging field and it has been explored from different contexts, but several researchers emphasize on entrepreneurial leadership skills, and some people explore it in the developing countries and some people explore it in developed countries. So I found that this literature is scattered, and there must be a comprehensive systematic review to consolidate these findings. What are the key competencies of entrepreneurial leaders, and what are their impact, and how they could be developed. So based on this, I've done my systematic literature review following a systematic procedure. So I'll be sharing my details, how I have done it, and what kind of research questions and review question I've used, and what were the search strings and the databases. So I'll be explaining them in the forthcoming sections. So the next is integrative review. An integrative review, that is not that much common, but some people can use it. So it basically combines both qualitative and quantitative studies to provide a full picture of a certain phenomena. So it includes various things. For example, random control trials about certain topics, and interviews and the observation. Let's say if you want to explore how a certain technology is impacting a certain group of people, and you will compare the people who are using the technology and the people who are not using the technology. So you will see the evidence and what are their implications in the outcomes. It also uses a systematic search procedure and thematic analysis. Basically, this type of literature review are most complex, and when the evidence is diverse, and there is no uniform way of let's say literature or the opinion. So if there are divergent opinions and the topic is complex, so you could conduct integrative review by evaluating the qualitative and the quantitative studies on that topic. Integrative review, it requires careful consideration and detailed analysis of the topics. The next is called rapid review. Rapid review, you could say it is also look like a systematic review, but it is done in a quick way. Let's say if you want to explore something in a shorter period of time, let's say, for example, in the healthcare industry, if you want to explore how a certain technology is impacting the well-being of the patients. So you want to explore and you want to understand what are the implications and the outcome of that technology, then you probably will go to conducting a rapid review. So it is done in the short span of time, and it does not require that too much resources, and it is normally used for urgent decision making. For example, a university has adopted a new technology for the enhancing student learning experience, and they want to understand whether this technology is working or not. So they might go for a rapid review to get insight from the participants and to understand what are the mechanism, how it is working, and based on this they could develop some findings. Realistic review. Realistic review basically aims to understand not only a certain phenomena but also the mechanism behind that. Let's say if you had started a mentorship program in your institution to uh, gain understanding of of the students or the faculty members, and you want to know how that technology is working, or how that mentorship program is working and why that is working. So here you are not only exploring the impact but also understanding the mechanism behind that mentorship program, right? So during these situation, we will be conducting realistic review. So we not only examine the impact of that intervention, but also its mechanism to understand how it works, right? So you could be using a realistic review in those situations. So this type of literature review involve high involvement of the stakeholders. So they will be part of the system, and everyone is just engaged in the system, and they provide their feedback. It is also helpful for understanding the complex intervention, and it could be applied in medical field, and it could be applied in the social science and other field as well to understand certain phenomena. So this is the same slide. So now let's come to the main topic, which we need to understand. Basically, the purpose of giving a background of the literature reviews to let you understand what is literature review and what are the key types of literature review. So as I mentioned before, systematic literature review is a transparent, structured, and reproducible method for identifying, evaluating, and synthesizing all available evidence of a specific research question. So why systematic literature review is important? The reason is because it removes the biases in search process. So let's say if you are conducting a narrative literature review, there is no evidence of the method you followed in finding the literature, and there is no evidence that certain topics you have selected that were important and certain topics that were also more important you have missed because there is no evidence. And in the narrative review, you have not followed any structured reporting mechanism, and it could be argued that the findings maybe are based on those literature which were important to you, and you understand that literature related to your research question, but some literature may be opposing your viewpoint, and that will be neglected in the narrative review. But in systematic literature review, we not only accept the literature that are focusing on the positive aspect of the of our topic, but also we take those literature which has a negative or opposing view regarding the topic, right? So this type of reviews are essential for developing policy and the practice, and it is most commonly used in medical research. And systematic literature review aims to understand the overall landscape of a certain topic. Let's say if I have conducted a systematic literature review on entrepreneurial leadership competencies, then I'll be able to understand what are the literature existing on entrepreneurial leadership competencies. So it will provide me a comprehensive overview of the literature on regarding entrepreneurial leadership competencies, their development, and their impact. So because I have been using a strict search criteria for finding those scientific papers. So otherwise, if I followed a narrative review, then I might missed these reviews. So systematic literature review, maybe there are several methods of conducting, but mostly the researcher follow the framework of Tranfield 2003, who proposed three stages of conducting a systematic literature review. So the first stage called planning the review, second stage called conducting the review, and third stage called reporting, right? In the planning stage, we do several steps, and we decide our research scope and the purpose and the objectives of the review, why this is important, and why we are choosing this topic, and what area we need to cover in our review. So during the planning stage, we also develop our review protocol that this review, and what are the inclusion and the exclusion criteria, what we need to include in our review and what we need to exclude. And the review protocol is validated by the expert in the field. Let's say if I'm doing a systematic review on entrepreneurial leadership competencies, then I'll share the entire protocol with the expert, and whether they really cover the objectives and the purpose of my review or not. So after the agreement and the validation from the panel, then we will start the review process. So basically, the systematic literature review which I've conducted, I have developed some inclusion and exclusion criteria. So I'm sharing these to just let you understand about how we should develop our inclusion and exclusion criteria given the nature of our research. So but the purpose of research was to explore entrepreneurial leadership competencies and examine their impact across different contexts and understand how entrepreneurial leaders could develop their competencies. So these were three review questions, right? And the inclusion criteria, I have developed the paper should be published in English, and if the paper are in other language, they are not included. The focus must be on entrepreneurial leadership. If the papers are focusing other types of leadership, let's say transformational leadership, or ethical leadership, or sustainable leadership, or behavioral leadership, or any other types of leadership theory, then they are not included in my research. So the review, the paper must address one of the review questions out of three. If the papers are not addressing directly my review questions, then they are not included in the review pool. So I have also selected a date range about systematic literature review. For example, I've selected 1985 to 2022. So the reason of selecting 1985 was because the first paper on entrepreneurial leadership was published on 1987. So before that, no other researcher proposed entrepreneurial leadership as a distinct area of research, although it has been explored from the context of entrepreneurship and leadership. So from 1987, the first paper that was published by Lippitt, they propose entrepreneurial leadership as a distinct type of leadership, or it is a different leadership style that is used to uh, work better in uncertainty and having innovation and the creativity and entrepreneurial skills to deal uncertain situations. So the exclusion criteria, I have also developed some exclusion criteria. For example, the paper which are not peer reviewed, they will be excluded from the review. And the papers are focusing other leadership style. As I said, they would also not be part of my review, and the paper not in English. And some other exclusion criteria was also used. For example, the conference papers and the book chapters, they are basically not peer reviewed, so those were not part of my review. So next, we will go to the databases because we have to highlight what databases are we going to use for the searching the right literature for our review. So these were the literature databases which I've used: Emerald, Ingenta, Sage Journal, Science Direct, Springer Link, Taylor Francis, Welle Online, and the Web of Science. So you could also develop your databases and select them, and you need to verify or validate them from the expert whether they are good or not. So going forward, in this second stage, we conduct the review. So in the first stage, we basically plan the review. We develop our review protocols and the review questions, inclusion, the exclusion criteria. So this is the stage where we apply those pre-decided protocols and the strategies in a practical manner, right? So here we implement the protocol, and we see the application criteria and keyword strategy, and we use different combination of keywords to get the relevant literatures, because we need to be using different combination of keywords and the search string. So sometimes maybe the paper was focusing on entrepreneurial leadership skills and competencies, but the title was not focusing on entrepreneurial leadership skills. That's why we have to try different combination of keywords and search string to identify the resources or the literature that are focusing on our review question. So the important thing is we need to select the reputable databases. In my field, the reputable databases, which I've said, Sage Journals and Welle and the Web of Science, and these were some key databases which I've used. And next is the transparency. The systematic literature review is all about documenting the entire process, right? So if you're conducting, if you're searching something, and if you get the evidence or the reports, then you need to write them. For example, if you have searched, let's say, if we go to Google Scholar, so let's go to here. Go to advanced search. Let's say if I search entrepreneurial leadership in Google Scholar, then let's see what we. So here, for example, I have searched entrepreneurial leadership in Google Scholar. So the result shows there are around more than 300,000. Yeah. So I need to report this search. For example, you can say that if I search entrepreneurial leadership in Google Scholar, so the result showed there are certain number of results available, right? So for example, if you just refine your search and with exact phrases, for example, if you use entrepreneur leadership here and you use entrepreneurship and leadership. So for example, leadership, right? So I'm just making it more specific. Let's see what we get. Yeah. So now you could say I search entrepreneurship and leadership and entrepreneur leadership. Then the result was 48,800 results. So you need to document this one as well. So this is not only the case of Google Scholar. You could also replicate the same process in the other databases. I'll be sharing them soon, and we have a practical update one as well, right? So the purpose was to just ensure the documentation, that each and every step is documented and replicated. For example, if someone else use those keywords and the search string and start searching them, then they should also get the same result as you got. And then you need to check the transparency and the journal quality. Basically, if you are conducting the systematic literature review, you need to ensure you are including the papers that have good quality, and the journals are not pirated journals, and they have citations are good. So basically it enhances the strength of your literature review. So you need to adopt a quality assessment criteria. For example, you could say that I have developed my review protocol that the papers which are in the highest number of citation would be included in my review pool. So the paper, let's say you could say the paper which have focused on theoretical side or the empirical side, you could also develop that into review protocol. So depending on the nature of your research, so you could use the literature accordingly. So let's say these are the search strings and the keyword which I've used. For example, the primary keywords which I use are trip, lead, develop or learning, and entrepreneurial leadership combined. Basically, we were focusing on entrepreneurial leadership competencies, right, and learning. So we explore how entrepreneurial leadership could be learned in certain situations. So entrep, and we use the asterisk because we are searching the paper that focus on entrepreneurial and entrepreneurship and entrepreneur. So if I write only entrepreneurship, then the paper title that are focusing entrepreneurial, that might be missed, right? So the paper title that are focusing entrepreneurship or entrepreneur, that might be missed. That's why entrep, if I put a asterisk on here, so the result would that are focusing on entrepreneur, entrepreneurial and entrepreneurship will be shown. Similar case leadership, on entrepreneurial leadership, then might be there's a paper that the title says entrepreneurial leadership, then that would be missed in my search, right? So similarly, if the paper was uh, focusing on entrepreneurial leader, and if I'm searching entrepreneurial leadership, then I might miss that literature. So that's why I've used lead and the truncated. So you could use these to find the paper that are focusing on entrepreneurial leadership, and entrepreneurship. So based on these criteria, you could search the right literature. And for the development, I have used develop. Uh, Basically, if a paper focusing on the develop or development or developing, then we could only use the single keyword, right? So best if I'm using develop, then I could use using their literature, right? And the learning as well. So the combined keyword is entrepreneurial leadership. Now let me show you how I could use them in practically, right? So let's say if I want to go say journals. So this is the database of searching literature. So you need to go to advanced search, right? So let's see, we have so the first is untrip, right? We need to search. So you can see it produced around 1,100,000 and 51. Yeah, almost over 1,000 result it has shown, right? So if we narrow our search, let's say if I add another field and I add untrip and I say lead, then we search it again. So now you can see the result is just narrowed, so it is now 90,000, right? If I go to search it again, untrip, lead, and what is the next one? Develop or learning, lead, develop or learning. So if I search this one, the result should be further specific. So let's try it again. Untrip, lead. Okay, you need to ensure where are you searching your title. Let's say if I search the result from the title, then I select the title and I use lead and develop or learning, right? So it means I'm using these keywords to identify the literature that have used these keywords in their title, right? Now if I search it, so let's say if I remove this one, so if I search the paper that have used untrip in their title, then let's see what result we get. So you could say there are 6,992, right? So you could, in this way, you could specify your search process further. So you need to write this in an Excel sheet. For example, you have used this untrip search string and the result was 6,292, right? And if you go to further, untrip and lead, and just check these words in the title of the research and just check whether we get result. So it's not showing. Just try another way. Yeah. Search the paper that have used untrip and lead, entrepreneurship and leadership in the title. Let's see what result we get. Yeah, before we have searched untrip, the result was 6,200 something. Now there are only 123 papers that are focusing on entrepreneur and leadership. It means these papers are focusing on entrepreneurial leadership, right? So you could say our search is more specific now. So otherwise we have to read 6,000 papers for the first search string. Now we have to just check 123 papers. So if we understand that these papers are focusing on our entrepreneurial leadership, then we need to export these papers to our reference management tools. For example, you select all here and you export these selected citation to what is your reference manager. For example, you could download them, or if you could directly import them if you have EndNote activated or the Zotero. So there are various ways to just keep the record of your literature. Then we will go to the next step, how we could screen these papers likewise, right? So this is the way we could use the search string, and there are different combination obviously. So this is the first combination, this is the second combination to ensure to get the right result, and this is another combination. I have selected entrepreneurial leadership in full form, and I have checked skills or competencies or capabilities or attributes. So maybe some paper have used attributes, some paper have used competencies. So we need to ensure we are using the right keywords to get the desired result, right? So maybe we have to choose develop or learning. Some people maybe use learning in their title, some people maybe use develop. So we need to select these one as well, right? So this is how we could use the search string and the keywords and finding the literature for our systematic review. Okay, the next step is reporting and the dissemination. So reporting and dissemination, basically in this section we use different strategies. Let's say in the first step we provide the descriptive analysis of the data. For example, the literature we have searched, we would just describe them, what are the current patterns in the data and what are the existing themes in the literature and what are the various opinions regarding that topic. So we will describe the entire result. And the next we conduct a quantitative analysis and also qualitative analysis. Let's say in the quantitative analysis, we conduct the number of paper published per year and the paper published in developed countries or developing countries, and the most cited papers, the journal with the highest paper published. So these kind of quantitative analysis we conduct. And the qualitative analysis, we just explain the key themes. For example, how many papers address research question 1, how many papers address review question 2, and how many papers explore review question 3. So in this way, we could just synthesize our entire finding of the review. So let me show you my systematic review if I add. So this is my review. If I click this one, okay, this is the way you need to write your systematic literature review. So this is the methodology. So this is the stage 1 planning the review, and what were the steps I've taken in the planning the review. So these are all detailed here. I will provide the link of this article and also the Tranpil article if you want to learn more about systematic literature review. So these were the questions, review questions, right? So this is the table, this is another table, and this is the screening and selection criteria. So this is descriptive analysis, this is geographical analysis. So if I go to the figures and charts at the end of this, we could see them. Yeah, so this is basically my review protocol, right? So you need to develop your review protocol like this: the purpose, review question, inclusion criteria, exclusion criteria, and the databases. And these are search string which I have used. And this is the screening of the paper, screening criteria and the paper evaluation criteria. For example, the initial search result from the databases was 851 papers. Okay, I think we have almost reached time. Sabah?
Yes, so can we take just 5 minutes break and after that we can rejoin using the second link?
Yeah, that's perfect. Yeah, that's fine. Thank you.
So, yeah, Dr. Fida and all participants, I have shared the second link in the chat as well. You can refer it from the chat or you can use your email. I have sent it at both sides.
Yeah, that's fine. Thank you.
Okay, perfect. So let's meet in 5 minutes.
Thank you.
Thank you. Yeah, Dr. Fida, so shall we begin?
Yeah, I think we should now start. Thank you. So let me share my screen again. I think my screen is visible to all of you.
Yes, it is.
Yeah, that's fine. So we were just exploring the paper which I have done. So this is basically the screening and selection criteria. The initial search result produced 851 papers. So the paper after duplicates, the 362 papers were duplicates because they were available into different databases, and the duplicates were removed. So after the duplicate removing, we have screened the titles of the papers. So there were total um, 345 papers that were excluded because those were not focusing on entrepreneurial leadership. After that, we have read the abstract of the papers, and here we removed 66 papers because they were not addressing our review questions. And after that, we read the full papers. Those were focusing on our review questions. And here we excluded 9 papers. Total, we initially we have included 69 papers, and we have also did some search from the reference and citation search and Google Scholar. So we got some more papers, and total 90 studies were included in my review. So these were the papers. So you could also report your paper like this. So for example, Abbas type of paper and the focus. So these are the entire results of 90 papers, which we have collected from different databases. So this is the geographical distribution of the papers. So from the here basically we are conducting quantitative analysis of the paper. So the most papers were published in context of Malaysia, which is stand on top 11. After that, US, Nigeria, and hello. Yes, someone wants to talk. Okay. So types of study. From our review, we found that 64% of the papers were empirical. So they have collected data to investigate entrepreneurial leadership competencies. So there were 8% review papers and 28% conceptual papers. So research methods. Most of the studies adopted quantitative method, 48%, and 45% adopted qualitative method, and 5% used mixed method, right? So the data collection method was 40% of the papers used interview, and 38% surveys, 10% case study, and 7% and 5% other options. So the papers that were published in 5-year interval, the most paper were published during 2016 to 2020, 33 papers. So as you can see in the initial years, there was limited one paper. so no paper on entrepreneurial leadership. And after that, we have seen a growing trajectory of the papers. So in this year, basically the review was ended in 2022. That's why it shows 4. Otherwise, in the past, top because we have seen of leadership, and these were most cited papers sorry, 147 and 573, and you journal which published. So basically, focus on research. Okay. So these are the papers that solely focus on the impact of entrepreneurial leadership skills and competencies. So these are the detailed results, and these are the papers that explore entrepreneurial leadership competencies. So you can see lots of skills and the competencies are mentioned here. And these are the papers which focused on the most recurring skills and competencies. And these are the papers that examine entrepreneurial leadership development strategies, right? So this is how I develop my SLR. So let's go to the presentation again. Yeah. So basically, systematic literature review all depends on the quality of our research question, right? So developing the research questions depend on how you craft your question systematically and thoroughly. Because the research question, if your research question is not good and it is not covering the entire aspect of the research phenomena, then you might not get the desired result, right? So PICO is a famous framework. Maybe you have heard about it. So P for population, I for intervention, C for comparators, and O for outcomes. So if you are developing your research question, then you need to follow the PICO framework, right? PICO will help you to cover the all aspect of your research phenomena, right? Let's say if we are conducting a research on uh, the hurdles with type 2 diabetes and use of mobile app to check their medication improvement, right? So in this way, we could, if we apply this into PICO framework, so the P is the population, the people which we are focusing to conduct research. So they are adult for the intervention. So what mechanism are we applying on them to see the result, right? So here we are using a mobile app to assess their medications, and C per comparator. So how we compare them with the rest of the population. So we are just selecting the people, some people who are using the app, and the rest of the people who are using the standard care procedures. And O for the outcome, what is the outcome, right? So in this way, we could develop a PICO question. An adult with type 2 diabetes, does using a mobile app reminder system compared to the standard care improve the medication adherence? So this way you could develop your uh, strong research questions, and then you could conduct your systematic literature review. So these are some strategies for developing review protocol. So a protocol protects you to review from biases and specify what you do before you start, right? So this is basically your plan of conducting the entire process of systematic literature review. So we need to include your review questions or research question, databases, screening plan, and data extraction plan, inclusion exclusion criteria, search strategies, and quality appraisal method. So these all will come in your review protocol. And if you want to make your findings of the review more authentic and transferable, then you could apply your review protocol or submit your review protocol with these organizers to systematic reviews. So let's say if you go to Prospero, so you need to search your let's say you need to search your keywords and then provide the search string. If they already exist, then you don't need to conduct that systematic review. So this is so that would be used for the guidance of the other researchers, and that will enhance the authenticity of your systematic review as well, right? We have another organization there that is called Organization of, so let me check it, Open Science Framework. So that is called Open Science Framework, right? So you could also register your review protocol here for the systematic literature review that you have developed authentic and transparent procedure in applying your systematic review. So I've not tried this one. I think it is paid. If you want to buy the annual membership, mostly for the organization, maybe if you could try, maybe it has the free version. No, there is no free version. Okay, next. So these are basically strategies which I've already shared. Let's say you have to decide which database are you going to search your literature. So these are some famous databases: PubMed, EBSCO, IE Explore for technology, Google Scholar. Google Scholar, you can say a search engine, Web of Science, and the Scopus. And these are the structure Boolean connectors which you could use, and is used to combine the concept. For example, if you are exploring two different concepts, and let's say we are searching entrepreneurial leadership that is emerged from the convergence of leadership and entrepreneurship. Now we need to connect them. So we could search entrepreneurs and leaders, entrepreneurship and leadership, entrepreneurial and leadership. This way you could connect both words, right? So for example, if you are searching AI and research writing, so you could say AI and academics. You could use R operator. For example, I'm searching skills and competencies, right? So I need to use or skills or competencies. So in this case, I would get choose not to include the irrelevant terms. For example, if I am searching for use of AI in academic writing specifically, so I could use not research process or let's say any other. Uh, am I still audible?
Yes, yes, I
Can you
can.
hear me?
Yes, yes, I can hear you.
Yeah, actually, connection was interrupted. So, okay. So these are basically strategies is used for searching the overall search. For example, if you are searching leadership, leader, and lead, then you need to use asterisk, and then you need to use asterisk. So it will produce focusing on entrepreneurial, entrepreneurship. So it will search the entire result. And if you want to search the exact phrases, you could use these words, the columns, right? Sorry, the inverted. Yeah. So, for example, searching consequentialism and chaos and moral topic, you are searching two narratives and use these two words, and these are basically. Then we go reviews. It entails the entire search. Like we could use the term and the for tracking keywords and connecting papers. So we will be also covering some databases and AI tools to find the relevant literature. So okay, these are the screening criteria, how you screen your paper. For example, the paper that focus on moral reasoning, you could include them, and non-academic essays that were not specific to your review question, you will exclude them. And here you could use some tools, Ryan, that is AI tool which help you to screen the papers, and Zotero. Obviously, we could use for Zotero for removing the duplicates. So the process is you need to upload your entire search result, which I did, and you need to export them to the reference management and search for the duplicate. For example, if I come to Zotero here, so this is basically Zotero, and I have lots of articles here, right? So let's say, so these are different articles. So there is a tab which called papers. There are 3, 4, 5. There are 5 records of same papers. So in this way, we could remove the duplicates easily and keep only those records which exist one time. So this way you could delete them and keep only one, right? So just check this one. So these are all duplicate items, right? So it means they have been sent from multiple databases to my library. We need to check the Excel or Butero notes. Let's say you have to, here for example, you create uh, a literature author. Here, I hope it is visible. Here, type of paper, and methodology, right? And you could also findings, research gaps. So you could add as many columns if you want to get the desired article. You could also add abstract here. For example, you need to paste the abstract. So in this way you could maintain all the records of your research papers, right? And you could use their abstract and summaries and write their findings, and you could also add remarks. If you want to add something from your opinion, then you could also add it. So that is called literature matrix. You could develop this and the Excel sheet or the Google sheet. So to keep your all records, it will help you in synthesizing your report of SLR. Let's go back to presentation. Right. So data synthesis, narrative synthesis, you could provide a descriptive analysis, right, of your data. And if you want to add a meta-analysis, you could also do it in your research. A meta-analysis basically use quantitative analysis to find the studies and find out their findings by using quantitative analysis, and that could be part of your systematic review if you want to present it, right? And these are the reporting overview guidelines of the PRISMA. PRISMA is a famous framework which is used for structuring systematic literature review, which is our upcoming topic. I'm going to explain it further. And these are common mistakes you need to avoid: not reviewing, narrowing a research question. If your research question is too broad and it is not following the PICO framework, then you might not get the desired result. Weak search strategy: if your search string and keywords are not specific and they are not directed or targeted your review question, then you might not get the desired result. Likewise, exclusion and inclusion criteria, which you have selected, and the justification, and checking the quality of the papers, and you're not following a specific framework like PRISMA, and not reporting the limitation. That is very crucial to report all limitations. Although SLR is very good, but it has certain limitation because you are just selecting the papers which are following a stringent criteria. If some papers which are good but not coming to that criteria, that might be missed. Or for example, if some papers are written in any other language like Chinese language, they are also good, but you have not included them. So these are some limitations of the systematic literature. You need to highlight them, right? There's likewise, if you are using a specific date, for example, I have used 1985 to 2022. So based on my understanding, there was no paper published before 1985. So it is might possible some papers that were published, they are not part of the records. So that is also a limitation. So you need to also highlight that one. So there are some tools. I'm covering these tools in the forthcoming section of the presentation, and these are referencing tools. I know you maybe know them. Paperpile, EndNote, Mendeley, Zotero, and so this is the Prisma. I am going to the next topic, that is called Prisma. So we need quickly explain what is Prisma and what are the key components and how Prisma could help us in conducting systematic literature review. Okay, PRISMA stands for Preferred Reporting Items for Systematic Review and Meta-Analysis. So it is basically a framework which outlines key ingredients and the components of systematic literature review and the strategies you need to adopt in conducting systematic literature review. So it basically helps the researchers to be transparent and reproduce their entire process and help other researchers to verify the details and the processes that has been applied in the systematic literature review. So it is a flow diagram you could use. Let's say if you go to Prisma, so this is Prisma and this is the flow diagram. If you want to download it, let's say if you are using 2022, just click this one. Database, for example. So here you need to mention how many duplicate records were removed and how many papers that was ineligible for your research or review that have been removed. For example, you could write total number and you could also include some other cards. For example, you could say the papers that were not addressing the review questions. So in this way, you could develop your entire workflow of this systematic literature review. You could use it. So this is already available here. Okay, now you could add and find the search of articles. Let's say database searches PubMed, Scopus to collect the all possible studies. And in the initial phase, you need to collect as many paper as you could because if you collect large number of papers, so it means you are including all expected papers that are focusing on your research area. So you need to be not judgmental at the initial phase. You need to include all the searches, and then you could perform the other duplicate removal or other screening criteria to remove the records. So in the screening process, we also perform some key steps. Initially, we do title and abstract review. So after removing the duplicates, we check the titles and the abstract of articles that are Can you hear me?
Yes, yes, audible.
Can you? Uh, oh, good. A minute. Okay, let me share my screen. The connection was interrupted. I don't know. Okay, we were talking about the screening stage. So here you need to follow some steps. First is you need to include all records possible, focusing on your research area. After that, you need to remove the duplicates, and after removing the duplicates, you need to screen the titles and the abstract, because it is not possible to read all the papers in the initial phase, and the paper, if they are not focusing on your research area or the research question, then it will waste your time. So you need to read the title and the abstract. If they are focusing on your review question or addressing them, that is okay. Make them part of your review, otherwise you could skip them. And try to um, check for the exclusion process. If the papers are falling in the exclusion criteria, you need to exclude them. Otherwise, if they're uh, falling in inclusion criteria, you could make them part of your review. And you need to also mention the unretrieved studies. For example, some paper might not be accessible to you because of the paywall, and if you have not subscription to those papers, you might miss those papers. So you could also report this, and you need to highlight this in your finding. So the eligibility stage, this is the stage where we read the full text of the papers, and we check their criteria and the assessment of their quality, and what in which context they were conducted, and what is the quality of the papers, and whether they have empirical or the qualitative, or they are conceptual or the review papers. You could write them and get the finding of those papers. So if any study that is not following the inclusion criteria, you could exclude them at this stage. So this is the final inclusion. This shows you have selected the final studies, and let's say eligible studies from the previous stage 30, studies that fully meet all the requirement 12, right? So in this way, you could mention your entire process. So this is the PICO framework, which I explained before. I think you know it about this one, and the inclusion, the exclusion criteria. So this is also an example. For example, a study on college student. If you are exploring a certain topic on college students, then the inclusion criteria include only the population that are studying in the college, and the school and the university students are not eligible. Intervention using cognitive behavioral therapy. If the research focuses this one, CBT, then you will include it. If they use any other type of intervention or health procedures, then that could be excluded from your search. And measure anxiety levels. So you are using the measurement to assess the anxiety of the students. So the paper if focused on this one, it would be included. Otherwise, you could exclude it, right? So this is the collecting and organizing of the articles. So I have already shared how you could organize your resources in the Excel sheet. So you could separate them. For example, if you could search them and keep the records separately. Let's say if you find 20 papers from PubMed, you could record them. And if you find Scopus 20 papers or 30 papers, you could record them separately. And removing the duplicates, I have already shared how you could remove the duplicates by going to reference management tools like Zotero is free, open source, you could use it. Otherwise, you could also use Mendeley and the EndNote and the RefWork as well. Screening title and abstract. So this one already shared. And how you could check the eligibility of the evaluation and final selection, you need to use AI tools. For example, you could use AI chat GPT for summarizing the paper. If you don't have full time, you need to get the help of the AI tools to get the summary of the paper rather than reading in full. And you could also get assistance of AI if the paper is written in hard language or any other language. You could use it in your review. And completing the PRISMA diagram. So it is very helpful if you could use the PRISMA diagram. You will mention this in your methodology that you adopted a PRISMA flow diagram in your review, because it is a standardized framework for conducting systematic literature review, and it will validate your process. So there are basically 27 items for the PRISMA, which focuses on different aspects. For example, title. There must be title in your review. It should be clear, and it should reflect that you have conducted a systematic literature review, right? It should reflect in the literature, in the title and the abstract. The abstract should focus on the background and the method you use in your systematic literature review, and you also clearly state the results, which results and what specific result you find from this review, and you also conclude what key contribution you make in the literature. Likewise, introduction, you need to write the rationale and the background, objective, scope of the review, and the review questions, and the purpose. These all kind of information you need to put in the introduction. And the methodology, which is most crucial part of systematic literature review. Here you need to list all the key procedure and the criteria you adopted: inclusion, exclusion criteria, review question, search string, and the keywords, and the process of conducting the systematic literature review. For example, planning the review, conducting the review, and reporting. And you need to also ensure and how the paper was screened and how the paper was approved. Everything you need to mention in this method section of systematic literature review. And you need to mention also the quality assessment of the papers and data collection process, and how you record those papers and how you manage your entire workflow. The results and the result section, as I said before, you could conduct different types of analysis. The first is descriptive analysis. You could describe your entire literature review from in descriptive ways by saying the existing patterns and the emergent themes and the deviation and the research gaps and these kind of information. Then you come to the qualitative analysis by exploring how the paper, which paper address your which review question and what was their finding. After that, you could conduct quantitative analysis, as I said before, how many papers were conducted or published in which year, in which country, what type of methodology they adopted, and in which mode the data were collected, and in which paper or which journals the paper were published, and how many citations of the paper. So in this way, you could conduct a quantitative analysis of your review. So you need to mention the risk of the bias and how you avoided risk, and you need to report it because reporting the limitations is very essential to ensure that you have managed the biasness and in the process and the search process and reporting process and every steps of your systematic literature review. So there are some strategies you could use them: comparing finding from across studies, identify trends and relationship. So you could just write in a critical manner how the paper are connected to each other, and in which country the trends for example, in developing countries, there's a different trends, and in a developed country, there's a different trend. So there's a deviation in the skills, for example, in developed and developing countries, and also the way of papers. For example, in developing countries, mostly people conducted empirical studies, and the developed countries contributed more conceptual studies. You could this way elaborate your findings. So these are the summary and the limitation and the implications. You need to mention how your review could contribute to the theory and the literature and the practice. So you need to mention them. So here are the key main points of your finding you could mention, and the limitation, as I said before, implication. What are the implication of this review? For example, if you conducted this review in a healthcare sector, and what specific measures it could bring in your department or the institution. And if you conduct in an educational context, what specific strategies you suggest for the policymaker so that they could apply and take most of them, right? And these are some other component you could use if there is conflict of interest, funding, or material available, or registration. So it depends. It is not mandatory to include all aspects, but some key aspects you need to include in your entire systematic review. So if you want to register your review protocols, so these are the websites you could use them to ensure that your review protocol was transparent and ethical. And you also need to mention if there was any funding available for your review, and conflict of interest and other things, right? So it's all about Prisma. The next step is to go to some AI tools to explore how we could get literature review from there, and how we could export those record into the reference management tools, and conduct systematic literature reviews. So if you have any question from the theory part, I'm happy to answer it. Any questions? Or we should spare time for the question answer at the end, Sabah?
Yes, Dr. Fida, I think that if no one is asking any question, then we should keep some time later on
Okay,
at the
okay,
end of
that's
the.
fine.
Yeah.
So should we take a short break and continue to the next part, or continue from here?
Yeah, it depends. Like we have some time. I guess we have some 10 minutes.
Okay, let me explore some AI tools.
Okay.
So we have, I think, 30 minutes of the for discussion right now. So we will be exploring some key AI tools and see if they could help us in conducting a systematic literature review. For the rest of 30 minutes, I'll be able to answer if you have any questions, and we go for the reflection and the conclusion, right? Okay, so there are lots of AI tools. You could use them. Firstly, let me go to science space. So science space is one of the important AI tools, and the another one is answer this AI. So we could also get relevant. No, this is answer this AI. Another one is research rabbit. So we will be exploring them one by one, how we could use them. Okay, firstly go to science space. So if you open the science space, you will get this interface. There are basic some key suggestion for you. For example, what you want to do. I want search papers. I write a report, literature review, analyze data, find grants, and these kind of. So it is, all in one platform. You could do many things here. So for example, we are conducting a literature review. We will select this one. So if I select this one, so what you want to search, for example, do a scientific literature review on include paper that are, right? For example, if I say do a scientific literature review on use of AI in academic writing, include paper that are focusing on the use of AI in academic writing, right? So if we search it, so science space is just generating the result for us. So you can see in the normal search process, we download the papers. Oh, sorry. 1 minute. Okay. So normally what we do, we go to Google Scholar and search for the relevant literature, where we download the papers and keep them in different folders, and then we start writing the data and the techniques used in the paper and the finding and the methodology and the other stuff, right? So here it made our work much easier. For example, these are the papers that are basically focusing on use of AI and academic writing, right? So how many papers are there? 98. So these are 98 papers, and you could also check the relevance. For example, this paper is 85% to 100. Matlab means it is 85% related to your search question. Enhancing scientific writing with AI. So the paper was published with it is a journal article, and you could also get the PDF of the paper if you want, and you could also cite it from here. So this is the abstract, right? And if you want to add more columns, for example, if you are interested about the methodology, you could add the methodology sections. For example, this is the method used. Just click this one. And if you are interested in the result section, just add this one. And if you want to also check the limitation, just add this one. Okay, so you could get these column as well, right? So these are the papers. Total 100 papers were found out from the science space, and 20 papers from the archive, and 20 papers from the Google Scholar. So you could use these records and writing your systematic literature review, right? So if you want to download this entire data, you could also download it from here. But since I'm using pre-plan, so it is not allowing me to download. I think you could use it. I have already used this. That's why I'm not able to download. So you could use the free version for basic search, and you could download some sort of data. But I think it is limited to maybe 2 to 3 reviews, not more than this. So in this way, you could use Science Space. So another wonderful AI tool is called Answer This AI. Maybe you have heard about. So we go to Answer This AI. And see how we could use Answer This AI in finding the right paper for our review. Okay, if you open answer this AI, you will get this interface. So what you want? You want to get answer of a specific questions or you want a full review? So we are conducting a review. So it has given us some suggestion. Ask any research question. Type a to take paper 7 U library. Okay. So we are just interested in use of AI in academic writing. Use of AI tools. Tools in academic writing. Let's see if we get any. Okay, here is a checklist. Number of main sections. How many sections you want? For example, section in the review, 10 papers, right? Subpoint sections, number of subpoints. So topics covered optional, and minimum citations. If you want to set a citation requirement, for example, you say the paper must have at least 20 citation, and the journal should be Q1, Q2, Q4. And what you are searching, that should be journal article. Basically you are searching a systematic review, it should be journal article, review article. So conference papers are not included, preprints and book chapters are not included. So what database you want? Semantic Scholar, OpenX, PubMed, Archive, these are okay. Then submit the search. So here we have got 514 sources, right? So if I type the same question into Google Scholar, so let's see what result we get. Google Scholar. Use of AI tools in academic writing, right? So if we search it here, so just check the result. More than 200,000, right? So this is unmanageable and you cannot read and you cannot check the entire results. So if you come to here, there are only 1,449 papers, right? So you need, so this has already written the entire papers in a descriptive format. You could download it directly from here. And these are the papers. For example, if you want to check the papers, just go to the source, view the source. So this is the source of the papers. You could download it. And if you want to check other resources, for example, maybe some papers are reference list, you could also use them here. So in this way, Answer This AI will help you to conduct reviews, and you can also search the recent studies from here. So okay, we are having a 5 minutes break shortly. Yes, Sabah?
Yes. We can meet in 5 minutes using the third link that I have shared on the chat. It is
Okay.
also present in the email.
Okay, that's fine. So see you again in 5 minutes. Thank you. So we were just talking about Answer This AI, which is a great AI AI tools. You could say it is all-in-one AI tools. You could not only conduct review but also write your research paper in it. You don't need to go to Microsoft Word and write your paper, insert your citations, and it manages your citation as well. And then you could download your paper in Word document format. So here that was the review which we asked for, systematic literature review, the emergence of AI, integration of AI tools and academic writing. So this is basically the complete draft they have developed for us. Actually, we don't need this draft and we could get help from this, but we have to develop our own systematic literature review. So it has generated some tables, paper policy, institutional example, characteristic, these things. So the most interesting things are on the right side. If you could see, so this is the paper and this is the author name and it is the published date and 33 citations, right? And you could save your work by creating a project. For example, I will create a new project. So the name of the project would be AI in academic writing. So create a project. So it is asking for some description. What is this? This is basically computer science. You can say create project. Okay, the project is created successfully, right? Now we have lots of options here. So for example, this is the abstract, right? You need to read the abstract. If the paper is relevant to your research, then you need to save this one to AI in academic writing. So you don't need to save the manual work in your computer by creating lots of folders, right? And if we see other thing like if you want to add key findings from this research, just click this one. So there will be a table. It will shows the key finding of the paper, and this will also help you to generate your entire result from the answer this AI. Otherwise, normally we use Excel sheet for keeping these all records, right? So it is doing this for us in a systematic way and in efficient time. Let's say if we are interested about searching the limitations from this research or the future research work, we could just click this one. So it will also highlight the future research direction from the paper. So if the paper provided future research direction, you will get it like this. If they have not mentioned, then you cannot use it, right? So if you want to save these all records, just click this one and where you want to save, into your project, or if you want to download it, you could also download it, right? So for example, if you want to download this review paper, you have some options here. So you could export it, how you want to download, PDF, doc format, latex or markdown, it depends. And there's a notebook feature as well. And answer this, you could also explore this of one default notebook. Yes. So let's say if you want to write something or take some note, for example, this is your notebook, use of AI in academic writing. Right, and you could format it and save it, whatever you want. and you could also use some other features. For example, if you come to the tools here, these are library and the AI writer. So these are basically the project which I have created before. And if you go to new query, so these are some features of Answer This AI. If you want to explore them, for example, literature review, search paper, citation map, chat with PDF is also a good option. AI writer and extract data. For example, if you want to extract multiple data from the library, or you want to upload, let's say, if we want to extract multiple data from our research for the project we have created, let's say, select this one, select this one, select this one, and select this one, right? What you want here, chat with paper, create table, or bibliometric analysis. So what you want, but for example, if you want to create a new table, we click this one, uh, table. So it has created a table for us. We can read it, and we could amend it, and we could also add more sections if we like, and we could also export it Excel sheet, or we could directly export it to Zotero and the Mendeley as well, right? So this is a quick review of Answer This AI. I hope you like it. And the next tool which I'm going to discuss is Research Rabbit, which is also an interesting tool. I used it before some time, but it is updated right now, I think. So if I go to, I don't know. So sign up. It says I already have a. So we need to try another email. So here, if we come to the Research Rabbit, we will get this interface, right? So firstly, we have to create a new project. For example, our project is AI in academic writing, right? Create a project. So we couldn't find what you are looking for. Okay. So this is the basic latest version of Research Rabbit. Previously it was different, but let we try if we get some sort of literature. Use of AI tools in academic writing. If we search it, okay, this is the result. It says there are more than 200,000 papers. So let's say the use of AI tool in English academic writing by Saudi undergraduate. So these are papers here, right? So we have some options here. If you want to split it, you could split this one. And these are the paper maps. It shows the connected papers. For example, these are the papers which are connected to each other. You could explore the map. And this is the table view, I guess. No, this is also the map. And this is the bullet points. So now you just read those short abstract of the papers, and if you think that is related to your SLR, then you could directly export it to your library, right? Otherwise you could skip it. So we have already created a project. For example, I said this is selected and this one, and these papers are related to my SLR, right? So I want to save them into my library. What is the name of my library? For example, I have to create a collection. Yeah, the collection name is AI in writing. Done. Right. So these papers have been saved. Now if I want to move article to a certain location, I can use AI in writing. And if I want to share it with someone, and if I want to export the citations, you could use CSV RIS format in your reference management, and you could also export it. So this is very simple. You could try it. And if you go to your library, so these are the papers, and if you want to check this one, and if you want to get a map of these papers, so this is the map. And these are citation. So this paper is 70 citation, this 7 and 3 citation. These are the references. So lots of information available. And if you are searching for the papers according to the dates, just mention the dates here and apply it. You could also get, if you want to create a new collection, you could create, and you could also organize your collection in terms of colors. For example, if you want to make it more distinguished, then you can. Okay, browse history. This is your history. I think there's not much in the Research Rabbit. It can only search the papers, but you will get some good result from here, and you could also find the connected papers. The next one is Let Maps. We will also try this one. So it is also good for finding the papers. You need to go to login and sign in with Google. So this is how the Let Maps looks like. For example, if we are searching on something like use of AI in academic writing. If we search it, so these are the articles which are about use of AI in academic writing. So here you get lots of features. For example, there are 150 citations for this paper, and it is 22 references, and it is PDF is available. If you want to read the PDF, just select this one. So we'll directly get the PDF of this paper, right? Next, if you want to add this one to your LitMap library, just select this one. So just create a new LitMap. What is the name of the LitMap? AI and academic writing. Just save this one. So we need to remove something because we are using a free version. So our LitMap is created, right? Open it. So we have added this paper. Now if I want to add more papers, then I will go to find, right, AI and academic writing. So for example, if you are searching for the papers, and let's go to main search, right? So these are the papers, and if you want to keep these all into your record, just select them all, and let's say these are the papers which are most related to our systematic review. Then we have some options there. If you check, it says explore related articles. So these are the articles you selected, and you want more articles related to them or these, then search it from here. Just go to explore articles, and it will search the related articles for you. For example, we have created this one. I will delete this one. So here we get more results, right? So now you can see, so there's an entire map of the papers. So these are the papers which are focusing on use of AI in academic writing. So they are connected to each other. For example, these papers are connected to this one. So some are connected to this one. So now if you are interested to search more papers, for example, you like this paper and that is highly related to your search question, you will just click this one more like this, you will get more result, right? So this is the entire result, and if you want to export it, you could export this one, and you also can save it. For example, export, you could download it. In which format you want to download, we have some other CSV format and RIS format for reference management, and you could also download it in the PDF format. So I hope it is clear for you, and you could also tag your articles here. For example, this article is about AI in academic writing. It is not there, so you create a new tag, for example, AI in academic writing, right? Done. So now if you could just recall the papers, so you don't need to go to your library, just check this one is about your this one. And for example, if you say this paper is related to AI in HRM, just select this one. So in this way you could organize your entire library. Like that's it about LitMaps. Now let's go to connected papers, that is also used for finding the papers and conducting literature review. So if you come to here, you need to log in first. Log in with Google. Okay, this is the interface we get from connected papers, right? So let's follow the same pattern which we did before. Use of AI in academic writing. Just search. So this is the search result for us. So if you want to, this is Semantic Scholar, this is publisher page, this is Google Scholar. So you could track the paper from various sources. And if you are interested in finding the more papers, just select this one. So these are the papers that are focusing on academic writing and use of AI. So the paper that are specific to your search question, you don't need to search to other platform like Google Scholars. You will get many results there, and lots of time you invest there. But here it makes the work much easier for us because we get the right papers in the right time. And you could check prior works. So this is the table of the papers, author name, years, and the citations. You could check the quality of the paper. For example, this one, that is 1200 citations, and this one is 500 citation, right? And if you want to see more recent works, just select this one. So these are the recent papers they published in 2025. And if you want to check it in a list view, so this is the entire literature for you, and you could also download it from here, right? You could just keep it download in PDF format, and you could apply filters. So for example, you are interested in the paper that have PDF available, just select this one and you will get the papers. Those PDFs are available, right? So apply this one. So only one paper as the PDF available, right? This one. So for example, you want the PDF of this paper, just PDF, click this one. So you will get the PDF from there, right? So this is the paper, right? So in this way you could search many things, many recent articles regarding your paper, research review. And this is the map. You could also check how these papers are connected to each other. So I think it's all about connected papers. We have another AI tools. I don't know the name. What was this? Illicit, maybe. If we check it, Illicit. So we need to sign up. So sign up with Google. So this is the interface we get from Elicit. Ask a research question and generate a structured research report. If we are interested in finding papers or extracting data, we could also use them. For example, if we use use of AI tools in academic writing, if we search it, so first 50 sources extract from up to 10 sources. So the free version only allow you to limited access, and if you want to use the full features, you could get premium features, right? So for the try, we will just check this one. So you could see it is searching 127 millions resources for us. So these are the columns, definition, and the criteria. So it is still searching the data for us. So 42, 47, 10. So this is the list format of the articles, but it takes some time to generate the entire results. So here you can see these are the paper which used, for example, this paper used ChatGPT, Grammarly, Quillbot in writing, in academic writing, and this paper also explores some, so educational level, academic context. So here you could just get a background of the papers, where they were conducted and what were the results and which tools were applied, right? So from this you could get the desired literature and the database for your systematic literature review. Challenges, benefits, right? Using search. So extracted 16 data points covering study context AI tools. So now it will generate a report for us, focusing on our search query. So until we get the result, I think we have 20 minutes left. If you have any question, just note down your question and ask me. I'll try to answer it. So it is still working. Okay, thank you everyone. I think the result is just getting ready until we will get some question if you have. Thanks for interesting and informative workshop. Thank you, Yusuf Abdullah, for your kind remarks. If anyone has any questions, you are most welcome. So this is the result. So you could just check the elicit if you get some time, because it is getting more time here. I want to go to question answer session, and you will try it. So let me stop sharing my screen. Okay. Thank you everyone for being with us. It has been a long time. I know it was a bit technical and a bit theoretical, so it's very hard to listen, I believe. And thank you for your patience. And I really appreciate your time, and I also pledge your questions.
So if someone have any query, you can just put it on the chat box. So Dr. Fida can answer it.
Yeah.
Dear everyone, I have also placed a link for the workshop feedback. We would love to hear from you that how you felt about it, and this will help us to improve future workshops as well. And this will encourage us as well to be more bringing more impact to the society. So please fill that form. It's a humble request for all from all of us. And if you have any query, you can speak or you can put your questions in the chat box as well.
Thank you, everyone. I have just pasted my LinkedIn profile link. If you want to get in touch with me, it is in the comment box now.
Hi.
Yes, brother.
Thank you, Dr. Fida, for the informative session. And I have a question. Uh, for the use of AI tools, we also have another problem of AI detection when we use the summaries from the results. So, do you have any better suggestions to humanize them, or because sometimes we also have another text which are sometimes written by humans and even they have AI detection. So, do you suggest any tools?
Yeah, thank you, brother. It was very good question. Basically, this is the most controversial topic within the in the age of AI. Some people just have mentioned they have completely written their text on their own, but once they checked it, so it was flagged by AI. So it is, currently there is no authentic tool that would genuinely predict that the text is AI written or human written. So you can contest this claim if you have written some text and that is being flagged by AI. So you can say that it is my own written. So you can contest that one, because currently the tools which are available for detecting the AI, they said that is probably by AI. They are not sure. Even if you checked in on Turnitin, so they say that some text has been taken from AI and they or paraphrased from the AI. The good option is, I believe, you could take assistance from AI and you could get summaries from AI to make your work easier. When it comes to the writing, you need to just write it on your own self. That would be better and it would be a stress-free work for you. Otherwise, getting text from the AI and humanizing it, that is, I think, more, that would be more troublesome for you. So it would be ideal if you could just make the literature available for you and make it easier for you and make it systematic by getting the assistance of AI, by getting some summaries and making notes, these kind of things. But when it comes to the writing, so the main thing is, conducting the literature and making your database ready, right? Once it is ready, I don't think the writing would be hardest job. The writing would be much easier for you if you have organized your own resources. So this is the only way I think we could save us from the AI flagged. So I think I've answered your question. There are lots of humanizing tools, but I've not used them personally, and some of them are paid. People are using them, but I think that would be unethical because the text is not written by you and you are humanizing it. So as academic, I think that is not recommendable. So for the help, you could just get summaries and get understanding of the materials from the help of AI, and you could organize your resources. But for the writing, I think it should be on your own writing. So it will, I think AI would also help you in writing. So you will improve your writing if you understand the workflow and the process of AI. So thank you, Badar. And any other question, please? So any questions? We have, I think we have 10 minutes. You are welcome if you want to ask any question related to AI or the use of AI in systematic literature review or any other general question regarding academic writing. If I know, I'll be happy to answer it.
अच्छा उसमें नवंबर दिसंबर की एक्चुअल और 2024 का निकला लिखा होता।
So the result which we were trying to get from ELISAT, that is available now. Let me show it to you for quickly before we wrap up. So just sharing my screen again. So this is the result we have got from ELISAT, right? Use of AI in academic writing. So this is the abstract. These are methods and the characteristics. So here is a table which shows the literature and their characteristic. For example, this is the study of AWA. This is full text retrieve, no. Participate English faculty members, faculty, sample size 16, where the country, Indonesia, which method applied, mixed method, academic context, academic writing and research, EFL and ESL, right? So this is another table. Which AI tools were used? ChatGPT, Grammarly, Quillbot, Google Translate, Criterion, and primarily functions. And how many papers? So these are number of papers. So I think this tool is very handy to get the right information in an organized manner, right? So it has already organized the all articles for us. So it has the references and everything. So if you want to save the PDF, I think it will also download it for you. Yeah. So it is now if I click this one. So this is the entire article and it includes the papers and these all literature, right? So it will help you a lot in getting the resources and organizing them. So thank you. Let me stop sharing. Any questions?
Yes, I guess Badar has some query on chat box.
Yeah, Badr. Okay. Thank you for the clarification. I was asking for tools of AI detection. Okay. Badar, you asked me, there are various tools that detect AI. Turnitin, I think the most authentic one, which has improved a lot. And you could also use Quellbot, and you could also use other AI tools. For example, if you search here AI detectors, there are various tools, Zero GPT, Quellbot, GPT-0, Scribers, and uh, AIdetector.com. So lots of AI tools, Turnitin as well. So I've not tried most of them, but I use Turnitin. That is, I think, good. That will show the evidence where the text was taken from AI or not. Uh, by the way, I think we can also judge from the writing if it is human written and the AI written. So if the people have paraphrased it, then it would be difficult to catch. But the normal, if the people has directly taken from the chat GPT or other AI tools, then it will be detectable. So you could get, so because the AI mostly use hyphen most commonly, and some words that are quite often you could see them like say entrances and other words, they are openly used by ChatGPT. You could commonly guess from where the text has been taken. But if it has been paraphrased properly, it would be difficult. So that would be challenging for the